All manufacturers are going to have requirements for the vehicle's battery during reprogramming. You know, the basic common sense tells us to start with a fully charged, warm, good battery. Now, the specifications are published by each of the manufacturers, and as an example that we use comes from Toyota, and it says the battery voltage must stay between 11.4 and 16 volts during the reprogramming. All the manufacturers are going to issue you a warning saying failure to follow these instructions are going to result in permanent damage to the module, and that means in order to fix this car you're going to have to buy a new module. So programming can be short. I mean, it can be less than a minute or as long as an hour. Our average seems to be about 15 minutes. And of course, someone's going to talk about BMW, and we've heard stories of BMWs reprogramming for 12 hours. That's going to require a special battery charger. Now, we said that we're going to use the battery voltage must stay between 11.4 and 16 volts during program. We got that off the Toyota website. You can check all the manufacturer's website. You got to go there to get the download anyway. Toyota tells us that you can minimize the risk of damaging an ECU by understanding and following the following precautions. 1. Battery must be fully charged and in good condition. Battery voltage must not go under 11.4 or above 16 volts during the reprogramming process. And that's a good standard that we use. Now, there's going to be a draw on the battery during the reprogramming process. I mean, you have the ignition on, you have the device running, and what you have is fans kicking in and out. So you have things happening to the vehicle that's going to have battery draw. And we actually measured it during one reprogramming process, and you can see that we got 6.6 amps during the reprogramming process. Another important common sense thing is not to use a cold battery. Here we pulled in a vehicle from a cold winter day, and you can see that the battery temperature is 38 degrees. Now, at the start of the reprogramming it was 11.7. That's way too close to the 11.4 to continue, but we did just for this demonstration, and after 6 minutes we were under the 11.4. So it's total failure with a cold battery. Use common sense, use a battery near normal operating temperature. Now, to ensure the battery voltage doesn't fall below that minimum specification, we try to use a battery charger on low. Let's talk about this. They say use a high quality clean power supply. Let's see what they're talking about, because you know they can say what they want. It always comes down to somebody doing the actual research. So here on a vehicle we have our old shop battery charger, a DVOM, and of course we have our PC-based DSO to help us with this. Now, when we start the vehicle up, you can see that we do have some AC ripple here. In fact, we have 11 millivolts of AC ripple. It's very minimal. In fact, our cursor almost eclipsed the waveform. So we're saying that if that's what the manufacturer makes their alternators at, this must be an acceptable level of AC ripple, somewhere around, 11 millivolts. When we used our shop charger on a 2 amp selection, we got 29 millivolts. We actually doubled it. Is this good or bad? Well, truth is we don't know. And then when we selected a 10 amp we got 40, and then when we went to the 40 amp we got 173 millivolts, and then we got near a half a volt when we used the engine start selection. Now, during all this, what about the voltage? At the start of charging on our 2 amps, we were at 13.8. That's between the 11.4 and the 16. After an hour, we're still between there, and we're safe. So that the battery voltage held good. Battery voltage got to stay between that 11.4 and 16 volts during reprogramming, and ours did. All right. Now, if we selected the 10 amps, we were immediately over the maximum of 16 volts, and of course we'd be over at the 40 amp also. So those weren't even an option at that point. Only the 2 amp will maintain a charge on the battery during the reprogramming with the correct voltage. But we still don't know, is that 29 millivolts good or bad? So what about this? What about a jump start unit? This is what we've come to use. It holds steady voltage throughout the entire programming process. Let's look at that AC ripple out of there, and you can see we have minimal AC ripple, almost none that we can see here. We'd have to blow the scope up just to see it. We're not trying to do that. We're just showing you that, yeah, it's minimal. So the voltage was held between the 11.4 and 16 volts. Watch here, because what we're going to tell you, we're plugging in our jump pack unit to AC outlet to charge it. And you can see that we didn't get much AC ripple. So we're real happy with this unit because it performed very, very well. Now, if you're going to do off the car, off the vehicle programming, you're going to want that high quality, clean power supply, something specializing for that. Now, when you look at these high quality power supplies, they are not your shop battery charger. If you're going to use a battery charger, you want to test it first. How much AC ripple does your shop charger have? And if someone comes in to actually sell you one and tell you, oh, it's absolutely clean, why not test it first? We found the best way to do this is with a power pack, a jump start unit.